A lot to talk about regarding this Jays team. GM Ross Atkins joining us now from Rogers Center. Hello, Ross.
How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me on.
Very good.
Thanks for coming on.
A busy day. Thanks for coming on. We know you have a lot to do. First things first. Are you the type of GM that has to unplug completely right now in terms of watching baseball, or will you follow the postseason, which is for the most part live on Sportsnet?
Yeah, no, I'll definitely be watching. It's just painful. It's extremely difficult to watch and think about all of the things that could have happened or didn't happen, and the reasons why you're not there. At the same time, I'm a fan of the game and fan of a lot of the people in it, and certainly want to remain aware of every aspect of it. So, I'll enjoy it a lot less. It's a lot better when you're a part of it, obviously, but I'll definitely be watching.
Beyond frustrating, how would you characterize this season for the Jays?
Yeah, I mean, it's painful is the best word, just because it's look, we've got to be accountable. We've got to do a better job of keeping our players on the field. It's been challenging that way. If we would have had maybe 4 of the 10 things that did happen not occur, if we had a month more of Josh Donaldson, a month more of Russell Martin, half of a season out of Devin Travis or Aaron Sanchez, we're probably playing baseball tomorrow night. But the fact of the matter is we're not. So we have to look deep into that and determine where we can ensure that doesn't happen. I think we've already made one step to make sure we're better prepared for that, and that's the depth of our organization and our system. We've got a lot more young, controllable talent than we had 2 years ago. Objectively, you look at our system being ranked 9th or 10th as opposed to 24th and 25th, and we agree with that progress. There's a lot of great stories that we'll see in AAA next year, and there's been a lot of discussion and talk about Vladimir Guerrero and Bo Bichette, but I think as exciting is how deep the system has become in a short period of time. There's at least 30 players that we're talking about on a regular basis that are going to make an impact in the major leagues. To what degree, we'll see. But we're in a better position to overcome injuries when we do have them, because we'll certainly have them. Hopefully, 2018 we'll have a lot less. This was a remarkable year that way, in a negative way. And 2016 was a remarkable year the other way, where we didn't have many at all. So, again, we've got, a good pitching staff. We have a good core to build around, and we have a much deeper farm system to believe, not just the front office, not just myself and Mark Shapiro, Ben Cherington, Joe Sheehan believe we'll win, but we have a team that believes we can win.
Ross, your pitching was good enough to get you in the postseason this year. I think most people would agree with that. The offense didn't pull their weight, quite frankly. And if your core believes you guys can compete next season, you can't have, obviously, the 29th ranked batting average in Major League Baseball. How much work do you have to do this offseason to get you guys offensively back to a place where, with 2 weeks to go in the season, you're in a postseason spot, or at least in contention for a postseason spot?
Yeah, it's not just as simple as scoring runs. It's also helping our pitchers prevent them. So that's even more telling about the production of our pitchers, is that they were objectively the 4th best pitching staff in baseball, or excuse me, in the American League, not factoring in defense. So we've got to be better offensively. We've got to be better defensively. Part of that is health. If we have a full year of Josh Donaldson, a full year of Russell Martin, a full year of Troy Tulowitzki, and a full year of Devin Travis, we'll be fine. We can't plan on that. We've got to plan to not just be able to sustain injuries when they occur, or when guys need a blow, or when guys just need the 10-day DL for a strained muscle. What we've also got to do is make sure that we're continuing to build up our system that provides that depth. We've already made steps towards that by, I think, building a more robust farm system and players that are closer to the major leagues. But we need to look to acquire pieces that are major league ready, can fill in, and not only be a part of our current major league team, but provide everyday major league depth in the event that we do have injuries.
You mentioned a full year of Josh Donaldson. Obviously, the fan base is abuzz about the future of Josh Donaldson. He told Shai Davidi that he walked into your office and said that he wanted to be a Blue Jay long term. What was your response to that?
Yeah, I mean, anytime a player expresses that, it's great. That's not our only interaction. Obviously, we've talked a lot and spent a good bit of time together. So, enjoy talking about baseball. Enjoy talking about the Toronto Blue Jays and how we can make them better. And him stating that he likes to remain here is significant. And then that's we're very glad to hear that. And obviously, we share that interest.
Do you now have an idea of what that would take?
Yeah, you do as well. I mean, I think it's significant, right? I think it's written about and talked about a lot. It would be extremely significant. It ultimately comes down to it's not completely up to the Toronto Blue Jays. It's up to both parties, and that's what's smart. For any organization is to find what the win-win is for the player and the team.
Are you shutting down the idea in any way that you're going to offer him an extension this offseason at some point?
Well, we don't shut down anything. I don't believe there's anything black and white in professional baseball. It's we've got to stay open to anything and every way to make our team better. And any negotiation, there are very few that start and end in a short period of time. They usually, especially for a player that is controlled by yours, sometimes open and close over periods over years. So there's always opportunities to find where the potential win is for both parties, and we're going to continue to think about that.
We've had conversations on the show about your cost certainty moving forward. Some of it for good, some of it for bad. Do you think, though, with that cost certainty, you can get something done with a guy that Jays fans really like?
So, I mean, really, it's about, again, like I'd say the same things. It's a two-way street, right? We're gonna think about it every possible way that makes sense for the organization. Josh Donaldson and Dan Lozano are going to do the same for him. I mean, the fact that he wants to be a Toronto Blue Jay is definitely encouraging and will help things move forward.
Ross, let's talk Jose Bautista. You are not going to pick up your option on him. You made that official today. Are you completely closing the door, however, on Jose's tenure here? Because last offseason played out in a way that surprised a lot of people. The market went certain ways, and there was Jose, and there were you guys, and there seemed to be a fit. Are you closing the door to that possibility potentially happening again?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's really unlikely for a scenario to occur with Jose coming back here. We would have to guarantee an outfield spot based on us being the oldest lineup in baseball. Offensive, defensively, the 9 guys that we wanted to roll out there every day is the oldest in baseball by a year. We can't continue to get older. We've got to find a way to get younger and more athletic. The best way to do that is through our farm system. Going into free agency for a player where Jose is in his career doesn't seem like the best thing for the Toronto Blue Jays. We've articulated that to him. I can't say enough about Jose Bautista, what he's meant for this organization, how much I was moved, and not just myself, Mark Shapiro, Ben Charrington, Mike Morove, individuals that are new to this organization, to experience on the last day of a homestand what Jose Bautista meant to this city and what he will continue to mean to this city and these fans was extremely moving, and it was a great thing to be a part of and see.
Ross, do you think the organization felt pressured by Bautista's legacy in this city?
No, we're in it to win. We felt like Jose Bautista was the best alternative for us. He projected extremely well. We had subjective reason to believe that he had made significant strides. We saw that in his arm. And for whatever reason, it's really hard to say on offense on when things go, why they're going, because it's such a reactive thing, and you don't know what an offensive player is thinking and what their plan and approach is on every pitch. But certainly don't regret committing to a player, not only of his talent and what he's meant to this game, but he's going to continue to play. He's going to continue to be a major league player that can help a lot in a lot of ways. He, at this point, just doesn't complement us well.
Right. So are you then content moving forward to go with Teoscar, Pilar, and Pierce in the outfield for camp next year, or is that part of the priority list?
Yeah, I mean, our priority is, I don't think it's as simple as just saying we're going to definitely acquire another outfielder and definitely acquire another starting pitcher and complement our utility infielders better and or complement our middle infields better. I don't think it's that simple. I don't want to go into the offseason with only the ways being to make our organization better. So, it might end up being that's exactly what we do. But we've got to think about any and all ways to make our major league team better, and we're glad that Teoscar Hernandez is here as a potential solution. But we'll see what the alternatives are. We've already started to do the work on that. We spent a lot of time last week talking about our internal alternatives. We'll fly down to Dunedin this week to talk about the external alternatives, and then we'll meet the week following to come up with our strategy that we ultimately present to Mark and ownership.